Hello, folks, and welcome to the Vertigo Tea Party and the monthly update for July 2017. As usual, the important stuff will be before the 5-minute mark. Everything after that will just kind of be me rambling and spouting out some ideas. I'll let you know once we hit that point. So if you want to drop out, you can do so without missing anything important. So I have two questions for you today. First of all, what days and times would you watch streams? Just every day and every time frame that you would actually be interested in watching streams. If you don't like to watch streams, you can mention that as well. Live streams, of course. The second question is, if you could pick any game to be played, let's played on this channel, any game that could be let's played on this channel, what would you pick? So, updates for this month. I will be streaming more. You might have noticed I've been streaming a lot lately. I'm not going to stream as much as I have been, but the target goal for now, I'd like to stream at least one day a week for a couple of hours. I'm actually waiting on affiliate verification with Twitch. If you're not sure what that is, I'll explain more about that after the 5-minute break. But in short, it allows people to subscribe. It allows for cheers. It allows for emotes, stuff like that. As far as new games coming this month, Albion Online is releasing. It's an MMO. Planetbase, I've actually recorded a couple parts for that. It's a very, very short series. I just had to find a good time to release it. It's basically a city building type game. I should be releasing that sometime this month. I also plan on doing some other short game this month. I haven't decided what it's going to be. I've got a list of games that I'm looking at, but there'll be most likely at least one other short series going on this month. As far as games that are ending this month, is actually a pretty decent list. World of Warcraft will be ending this month. I hit the max level, and I don't really plan on playing anymore. I might pick it back up later, but for now, I'm considering that mostly pretty much done. The Witcher DLC, the Hearthstone, is finished. The last part should be going up in a day or two. Elder Scrolls Online might be finishing this month. I'm really trying to get through the quests and get them done. Again, not rushing, but I think I'll have it done this month. Not sure. I would think next month at the latest. Diablo 3 Necromancer series is also going to be ending this month. And Secret World Legends will also be ending this month. As far as everything else, that's actually it. I thought I had more on the list, but this is a fairly slow month for games. It's summer, so that's to be expected. So yeah, I'll actually go ahead and stop here. So that's all the important stuff. Thank you guys for watching. And again, if you would, please answer the two questions in the comments, if you would. Again, the questions being, what days and times would you actually be interested in watching me stream? And also, if you could pick any game for me to LP on this channel, what would it be? All right, so the rambling parts, I honestly don't even have that much to talk about. I've really the streaming thing just kind of happened. Like 2 games came out that I thought worked better for streaming. Obviously, both Diablo, the Necromancer pack, and what's the other thing? Oh, Secret World Legends. And I just thought both of those are better for streaming than just straight up Let's Plays. So I just ended up streaming a lot, and I'm glad I did, because honestly, I have a lot of holdback to streaming, because when you're doing a Let's Play, you can pause, you can stop. And it's like, I'm pretty hungry, or I just want a break. I can stop right in the middle of an episode and come back 2 hours later and pick up right where I left off with absolutely no problem. With streams, especially if you actually have a large audience. It's in my case, a large audience is like 10 people. You don't want to take any breaks, because the minute you take like 5 minutes to eat, you're going to lose a few people. And it's discouraging, especially when you're trying to build an audience. It's just discouraging. I understand why people leave. I'm not holding it against them, but it's just kind of a bummer when people leave. So you're really pressured just to keep, not pressure, that's not the right word, but you really want to just keep going is basically what I'm saying. So it was actually nice to stream, and as I tend to do, I made things mentally, I made them worse than they were. Like, I really enjoyed it. I like talking to people in chat. I've gotten slightly better at reading chat while I'm playing, and very, very slightly. But yeah, like I've been enjoying doing it. I definitely don't intend to plan the stream anywhere near as much as I have. I mean, maybe I will. Who knows? I'm generally a never say never type dude, because you never know what happens. But I don't plan to stream on that much. I tend to I like my Let's Plays without the chat kind of stuff. So I'm kind of old school in that. Like if I watch somebody who Let's Play, I prefer if they're not streaming because I don't want them talking to chat. It's distracting. Like I kind of want to watch you get immersed in the game. I want you to focus on the game. And when somebody is constantly stopping to go, oh, thanks for subscribing or thanks for throwing some bits my way. Like I absolutely understand why they do it. Make no mistake. And it's not like I'm going to immediately turn them off. In fact, one person I watch a lot, Gigi Gab, she's a really good Let's Player. She's very mellow, which is, I guess, I'm old fashioned. I like the old mellow Let's Players who aren't like screaming and stuff. Anyway, she does that where she'll like stream. So when she puts it on YouTube, she's like talking about bits and, subscribers and stuff. And it's like, I don't mind. Like, I get it. And again, I absolutely don't hold it against her in any way, shape, or form. And I think she's great. You should check her out. But you know what I say, right? Like, I would prefer if she didn't. And I prefer her Let's Plays where she is doing it offline. So I'm kind of the same way. I want most of my Let's Plays to be offline so they're not getting distracted by stuff. And even if I did start to stream more, I really want to sit down and think about how to do bits and cheers and subscribers, because I will say, like, people who are getting constant cheers and subscribers and they're interrupting every 30 seconds, I usually can't handle that for long. I have to turn it off because it's just like you're spending half the time talking about stuff that's going on in the channel as opposed to playing the game, which I'm personally there for. So one thing I've thought about, and I think Dan's Gaming does this, I've watched a stream or two of his, and I noticed he did it this way, and I thought it worked very well, was where when he got cheers and all of that, he wouldn't announce it during the stream. A little pop-up would come up, and it wasn't obtrusive. It was just this very small pop-up that came up, and he wouldn't address it until he went to take a break or something like that. So he'd got to save them all up towards the end, and then for like a minute or two, he'd say, oh, thanks to such and such and such and such, and kind of name them off. That way, it's all kind of bundled together instead of constantly being interrupted. I thought that worked really, really well. So if I were to do streaming a lot more hardcore, that's what I would prefer to do, because I know I'm a huge nerd and I prefer the focus to be on the game still, not on like especially bits and stuff. Chat is fine as long as, it's not going too crazy. But anyway, I'm rambling too much again. So anyway, that's the streaming situation. So more streams, which is cool. A few of you have already started to come out to those. Thanks for doing that and keeping chat active. I definitely appreciate it. And I do apologize if I missed your chats. I'm still very bad at checking chat while I'm trying to play because I'm not used to it. So I apologize. I'm not ignoring you, I promise. I'm just terrible. As far as Albion Online, that's going to be another one of those series I don't know people are going to like. I don't plan on it being a long series. Just like with Secret World Legends, I'm going to play it a while. The plan is to play it a while, get a feel for it, kind of get to the point where things start to get a little bit repetitive, and then call it a day probably. Again, you never know. We'll see. I'm hoping to get an early access copy of that. Still waiting to hear back on a key. But yeah, Albion Online this month. Either way, it's releasing. So if I need to, I'll buy it. Just because it's interesting. It's a top-down MMO, which I'm really not crazy about those. But again, I'm totally willing to give it a chance. And I've got a crippling MMO addiction. So there's that. As far as short games, I'd be curious to those of you who are actually listening this far in, if you have any, you can actually make this separate from the answer to if you could pick one game to be Let's Play, would it be? If you have also some short games that you'd be interested in seeing, just let me know in the comments. And I define short games as less than 10 hours. If you look at howlongtobeat.com, and if you look at completionist plus, or no, I'm sorry, not completionist, but main plus extras, if the time is less than 10 hours, I would consider that fairly short. Because realistically, the main plus extras is closer to the time that I would end up taking in the game. So if you have any ideas for that, I've got some in mind. I'm not going to mention them just because I like being super mysterious. But I also want to kind of see what you guys suggest if you have any. But that's it. Yeah, this month not a lot. The main thing going on is the streaming more. And like I said, I'm really glad that I've had a positive reaction to it myself, because I was afraid I'd start streaming again and be like, oh, this is so tiring and I don't like it, and new things are stupid. I want to go back to the old ways. I'm glad that was not my gut reaction. So thank you guys for watching. As always, appreciate your views, appreciate your comments, and even if you're a lurker and you don't answer stuff, I totally get it. I'm fine with that too. Hello to you lurkers. I appreciate you guys watching. I know you're out there. But thanks again, and I'll see you next time.